I made 6 figures on Etsy in 1 year. Hey, it's Jenny with Jenny's Wreath Boutique, and in this video, I'm going to share exactly how much money I made on Etsy in 2020, and I'm going to share the 5 things I attribute to that success and 5 things I could have done to make even more money that I'm actually going to work on in 2021 this year to make more revenue on Etsy. If you are wanting to start or grow your Etsy shop in 2021, keep watching. I hope this video is helpful and maybe even inspiring for you. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. And hit that bell icon to be notified when I release new videos so you don't miss an upload, because I share a lot of Etsy tips as well as wreath making. Before I get into exactly how much money I made on Etsy in 2020, I just want to preface that with this was my 5th year on Etsy. I started in 2016, and if you have seen my video $80,000 on Etsy, how much money I make on Etsy, that will show you exactly how I started and how it was actually a slow beginning and some things I learned and how I grew my Etsy shop. So go back and watch that video if you haven't done that yet. Remember, this was my 5th year on Etsy, the year that I'm going to be talking about in this video. And Etsy is a progress. You don't start out that way. I mean, some might. I didn't. It was definitely a journey to get there. I just hope this inspires you and is not discouraging. I find other people's stories really inspiring, especially if they make more money than me, because it gives me something to aspire to. If I know that someone can make 6 figures on Etsy, that means I can do it too. So, and now I have, which is so exciting. That was actually one of my goals for this year, and I hit it and then some, which was so exciting. But I just want to inspire you, give you some motivation, show you what's possible. And that was just my 5th year, and I'm hoping for more. So, and I want to share that growth with you guys. So this is where I'm at now. So I just wanted to share that before we got into the numbers. And I just want to be open and transparent. So if we look at January 2020 through December 2020, I made $119,913.04 in revenue. Can you believe that? That's so exciting. I love it. But of course, that is my overall gross revenue, and there are some expenses that come with that. That is not my take home. I know $120,000, which let's just round it up to $120,000. If I would have listened to the tips I'm about to share with you, I would have hit that. So let's talk about the expenses, because as you know, revenue is your gross revenue. There are a lot of expenses that come with that. That is not what I took home, unfortunately. Overall, my fees and taxes were $24,879.03. The biggest chunk of that was shipping, which is over $18,000. And then my transaction fees, and then a little bit of marketing, which was just Etsy's offsite ads. But actually, that's not that much considering they take such a large percentage. Thankfully, most of my sales were from my own traffic and Etsy's organic traffic, and not their offsite ads. Yay! I'm excited, can you tell? And then listing fees. But my listing fees number is actually a lot lower this year because so many of you have signed up through my link to get 40 free listings when you start your Etsy shop, because that gets you 40 free listings and me 40 free listings. That's always in my description. It'll be in the description of this video too. So thank you so much to you guys who have signed up through that, because that has saved me on listing fees. So once you subtract $24,879 from my overall total, and I also spent about, I haven't added it up yet, but about $30,000 on materials. So if you take that out too, so I'm just going to round these numbers for simplicity's sake. So $120,000 minus $25,000 my shipping and fees and taxes from the Etsy taxes that Etsy collects, not my personal taxes. That will be a lot. That's okay. $120,000 minus $25,000, and then, which is not listed here, obviously, because these are my expenses, I spent about $30,000 on materials. I don't have the exact number yet because I haven't added it all together, but I'm estimating about $30,000. That leaves me closer to $60,000 to $65,000 take home, which I will also be taxed on about 25%. But there's also more tax stuff going on. So it's very nuanced. I'm so thankful to have a CPA that deals with all that. So just know there's a good amount of taxes that's going to be taken out of that too. But $60,000 to $65,000, that's exciting. That is how much money I made on Etsy in 2020. Now let's talk about how I got there. I have a whole Etsy tips playlist, just so you know, teaching you all about pictures and SEO and descriptions and how to get more sales on Etsy. Those are all great, so go watch that. Those are fantastic ways to get traffic, sales, and all the things in your Etsy shop. The things I'm going to share with you go a little bit beyond that. They're things that I attribute my success this year to, and there's also going to be 5 more things that I'm hoping to get better at, things I should have done. I'm hoping to get better at for 2021. The first thing that I attribute a lot of the success of my Etsy shop this last year is having a bestseller for every season and having at least one evergreen bestseller. As you know, bestsellers are phenomenal for your Etsy shop. They bring in so much traffic, they rank really high, and they always sell a lot, and that's what makes them a bestseller. So when you have those in your shop, you constantly have that stream of income. But most businesses, and Etsy included, they have ebbs and flows of seasonal peaks and valleys, things like that. So if you have a bestseller in every season and an evergreen bestseller, that will help keep a steady, consistent income for your Etsy shop all through the year. Like I said, most shops have seasonal ebbs and flows. Like if you're in wedding things or something like that, you probably have a busy season in the spring and summer, and most people are probably very busy in the holiday season, whether they have home decor like I do, which is great for Christmas. Everybody wants a Christmas wreath, right? Or people are buying things for gifts and things like that. So most people have Christmas time being a very busy season, and a lot of them, once Christmas is over, they have a slower season. As a wreath maker, Christmas is my busiest season for obvious reasons. But I also have fall, which is an extremely busy season. And actually January through April is really busy because people are switching out their Christmas wreaths, getting a year-round wreath or a spring wreath, and then Mother's Day, there's a lot of gifts going out. So my only slow season really is in the summer, but my very busiest time is September through early December. So let's just say my busiest season, like I said, is September, October, and November. Those are my 3 busiest months of the year consistently every year. That's great. Having 3 busy months is great, but what if you could be busy all year round? Maybe not as much as those 3 months, but maybe more busy than you are now. But having a bestseller for every season will really help with that. So during your slow time, you can work on finding out what that bestseller is, learning how to promote it, and get it to that bestseller status. Having said all that, having a bestseller in every season and an evergreen bestseller really helped out my shop. I had a bestseller in January and February. It was like a Valentine's Day wreath that I could not keep in stock. And then I have a year-round wreath that's always a bestseller. And then I had a fall wreath and a Christmas wreath, a couple fall and Christmas wreaths that were bestsellers as well. And that really just brought so much traffic to my shop. And there were other listings that also sold really well. Even if they didn't have that bestseller tag, they still, in my mind, were bestsellers because they sold really well, like really, really well. Keep that in mind. Even if you don't have that bestseller icon, it's still, you'll know which ones are your bestsellers in your shop. You can always look at your analytics too. The second thing I attribute a lot of my Etsy success over the last year is I have an older shop. This was my 5th year on Etsy, and so I have that credibility with Etsy. I have a ton of great reviews, good amount of sales, happy customers. All my orders go out on time, so Etsy likes that, and that can boost your Etsy listing scores. Like if you have a good shop, then your listings also get pushed out more. Not only does it help with Etsy, it also gives customers confidence in buying with you. If you have a lot of good reviews, it kind of eases their mind on, should I buy from the stranger? Should I not? I don't know. If they see a bunch of reviews, well, you know, you're a shopper. If you see a bunch of good reviews, it's more likely you're going to purchase from that shop because you know you're going to get a good quality product. So having a good shop standing helps with having a good listing quality score, which can give your listings a boost, and it helps with your customers trusting you and being okay buying with you. And don't forget, Etsy is a marathon, not a sprint. Like I said, and I'll keep saying, that was my 5th year. My first year was rough. and it got better from there. I learned so much and I'm teaching it to you. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Don't forget that. The third thing that really helped out my Etsy shop in 2020 was repeat customers. You know they're a repeat customer if they have a little star by their name, unless they're a guest. I don't know if they're repeat customers or not, but if they have a star by their name, you know, and then you can also see their order history now, which is really nice. It's so much easier to keep a customer than it is to get new customers. So if you have happy customers that keep coming back in addition to a bunch of new customers coming in, that's a recipe for success. And how do you keep your customers coming back? It's really simple. You give them a great product, you get it to them fast, and you have great customer service. I know it's more nuanced than that, but that's basically what it is. In addition to that, I've noticed a lot of my customers follow me on social media, so they have that know, like, and trust factor, and we talk back and forth. I love getting to know my customers and seeing where they have their product put in their house, things like that. It's so fun. I love it. But repeat customers, huge. I had so many repeat customers this year. It was so exciting. The fourth thing that I attribute getting 6 figures on Etsy in 2020 is having a good niche. Yes, I say niche. I did a poll on my Instagram stories asking who says niche and who says niche, and it was about 25% say niche and 75% say niche. I felt a little dumb, but I was watching Pat Flynn and he says niche, and I was watching Sean Cannell and he says niche. If you watch a lot of YouTube, you know who they are. Little side note, I felt good. I'm in a good niche that there is a high demand for. That's very helpful when you're trying to sell something. You need there to be a demand for it. Not only am I in a good niche where there's a high demand, I have a good profit margin, which is really important. If you haven't watched my video on how to price your wreaths to sell, this works for a lot of handmade items too. It's a great video, and that's how I price my items so I make a decent amount of profit. And that's really important. I could sell thousands of a product, but if I only make $5 a piece, I am overworked and underpaid, and that's not a great way to grow your business. So I have a good profit margin. I have a good mix of lower priced items and higher priced items, but the majority of my things are pretty high priced. I have some mini wreaths I sell for people who don't want to invest in a larger wreath that's $150 to $200, but they can buy a little mini wreath, which is really cute. But I have that price variation, but overall, my items are expensive. And so I don't have to sell quite as many to make 6 figures. Whereas if you have a sticker shop, or you sell like mugs or some little print on demand thing or something like that, you probably have to sell a lot more items to make the same profit. So that's another reason I think my Etsy shop made a higher revenue. The fifth thing I think helped my Etsy shop grow to 6 figures last year was Etsy's growth in general. I talked about this in my video last week, is Etsy too saturated? And Etsy has put so much advertising money. They have a big advertising budget, and there was so many more customers coming in this year, in addition to so many more people shopping online. So I think having an online shop in general was a good thing, and there was a lot of growth overall in a lot of Etsy shops this last year. So if you want to learn more about that and how you can stand out in a saturated market, watch last week's video if you haven't done that yet. I will link it. I'll link it. So those are the things I think really helped my shop out this last year. Now let's talk about the things that I could have done a lot better. I could have made more revenue if I did these things. I know, why can't I just celebrate how great I did without dwelling on the things I could have done better? It's just my personality. So I'm going to share the things I could have done better also, and I'm hoping to do better in 2021 with my Etsy sales as well. The first thing, keep your bestsellers in stock. It's hard to get a bestseller, and when you have one, it's amazing. It's so good for your shop. So keep it in stock. This is not applicable for digital products, as you can sell as many of those as you want. You make it once, sell it over and over. That's great. This is for physical products, of course. Keep your bestsellers in stock. Oh my goodness. I had the hardest time keeping my bestsellers in stock, and a lot of my recent stock. It was such a busy year. I just imagine all those extra sales I could have made if I just kept those items in stock. Now I know. Lesson learned. And I'm still struggling with that right now with my tulip heart wreath. I don't want to pay full price, so I'm waiting for them to go on sale. Because I let some of them go out of stock, I even lost my bestseller badge for a while until I was able to restock. It took a while to get it back because you don't want to be out of stock for too long. But because they were out of stock, I wasn't getting as much traffic to my shop at that time, and I was still getting a lot, let's be honest. It was a crazy year. I also had some designs that were headed toward being a bestseller. They were selling really, really well. And then I couldn't restock them because I couldn't find any more supplies to make more. And the missed opportunity. It was so hard. But I know I'm only one person. I can only make so many wreaths in a day. So keep your bestsellers in stock if you can. I thought I was prepared. I thought I had a ton of stuff, but I didn't have enough. It was 2020. It was harder to restock stuff. Now I know better. Hindsight's 2020, right? I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. That's so bad. If I would have been better at that, I could have made a lot more income in 2020. The second thing I could have done better in 2020 with my Etsy shop was prepare in advance for my busy seasons. I have a lot of busy seasons, but nothing like fall and winter. It was crazy. I wish I would have prepared more, for real. My slowest season is in the summer, which is perfect because it's right before my big rush season. Basically, as soon as school starts in the fall, my business just takes off until the rest of the year, until about a week before Christmas when it slows down. So this last year, it got so busy, I couldn't even recover from fall to get ready for Christmas because November, I'm still selling, actually October, I'm still selling lots of fall wreaths, and then the Christmas wreaths start coming on top of that. And so November is just crazy. So if I would have prepared more in the summer for that, which I know it sounds crazy making Christmas wreaths in the summer, and it's also hard if you only rely on places like Hobby Lobby and Michael's because they don't get their Christmas stuff in until a little bit later than that. And then it's like full price, and you don't want to pay full price if you want to make a profit on anything. So getting more supplies, big amounts of supplies, so I can prepare more in advance would be very helpful. Prepare as much as I can in the slow season, just knowing that the next season is going to be crazy. Like I was saying before, I struggled this year because it got so crazy that I didn't even get a chance to make new Christmas wreath designs or that many fall designs, which is sad because I usually make a good amount of new designs, and then those eventually become the next year's bestsellers or the next year's. And you never know how long the bestseller is gonna go. It's usually at least a few years. A good item can be a bestseller. And this year I made like one new good selling Christmas wreath. I had my bestsellers from previous years. I had a Christmas wreath that was really cute, that was new. It was kind of a newer version of something that had been phased out because the items had been discontinued. It was going really well, but because, see my last point, keep your bestsellers in stock. This one was becoming a bestseller. It was so close. And then I sold out. And I was so busy making the other wreaths, I didn't go online, buy a bunch of new stuff, and now it's sold out, and I'm missing so many orders because all my magnolia wreaths are sold out. And that's not the only way you can prepare for your upcoming season. This is going to sound silly, but you know, when you're nesting, when you're pregnant, if you're a woman, and you're nesting, you're getting your house ready, you're getting all your freezer meals made because you know you're just going to be focused entirely on your new baby and you're not going to have time to do all the other things. That's kind of like getting ready for a new season that's going to be so crazy you're not going to have time to like feed your family or clean. So prepare as much in advance as you can for household things, or get all your appointments out of the way because you're going to be too busy to go to the dentist. Story time! I scheduled family dentist appointments. I have a family of 5, and I scheduled our whole family to do the dentist on a Thursday night. I was getting so backed up on orders. I had 15 that had to go out by the next day. That was the deadline. I scheduled these appointments in advance, but I should not have scheduled any appointments during my busy season. That was crazy. So I was up until 2 or 3 a.m. trying to finish all these orders that I had to get out the next day. Lesson learned. And also use your slower time to get more of the behind the scenes things set up. Like maybe you just need to work on updating things or whatever it is you have to do in your business. Your social media, maybe schedule some of that in advance. Just the more things you get done in your business and in your life before your busy season starts. That would have been so helpful. I wish I would have done that because if I wasn't so behind on all my orders, I could have restocked. It all goes together. It's like dominoes. You know what I mean. The third thing that would have helped me this last year make more revenue is, you know how important great pictures are. I've talked about it so much. Pictures are important, and now video too. You need to add video to your listings if you are able to. I have a lot of older listings that do really well and that are seasonal, so I hadn't made them in a while, but then I finally made them, and I had outdated pictures, and I didn't have any video because I'd made the listing the previous year, and I just relisted it. And what I should have done is updated the pictures when I had the new beautiful wreath made. I have a better camera now. Well, I have a better phone now. The iPhone 11 has a great camera compared to what I used last year. So I should have updated my pictures and added video to those listings while I had them made, is what I'm trying to say, which will help for this year. Also, when you're in your busy season and you have a listing that has multiple sizes and things like that, you will probably have several of them made at one time if you're getting a ton of orders. And it's nice to like hold the different sizes up or show the different variations you have in the listing. I had them made, I just didn't have time to take the photos. I wish I would have done that. It would have been a lot better for the future of my Etsy shop if I would have. The next thing I wish I would have done, and I'm also planning on doing this year to make more money in Etsy in 2021, is find replacement wholesalers, find better wholesalers, get my products cheaper so I can increase my profit margins. So I'm one person, I can only make so many wreaths. So if I can just increase my profit margin by keeping the quality high, but just lowering the price a little bit per wreath, if I can just make a little bit more per wreath, I can increase my income without increasing the work. So I need to find more places that are cheap. Now that I had like some breathing room over Christmas break, once I had my week of slow sales, it's picked up now a lot. It's crazy. I think it's going to be a good year. If I can find some good wholesalers to work with, and then I can hopefully get better prices. Although the ones I'm looking at right now, they're not necessarily better prices. They're about the same as a good deal at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. So there's also Michael's Pro I use. And not only can you sometimes get better prices, usually, I'm still working on it. I'll keep you updated. Finding a cheaper supplier that will allow me to buy more of what I need without selling out so fast, then that would be great because it would save me time in shopping and hopefully increase my profit margins. So that's one thing I'm working on, but it takes a lot of time and research to do. So wish me luck. The fifth thing that would have helped me make more money in 2020 was streamlining my process. I'm really hoping to work on this year. And what I mean by that is doing more batch working, being more efficient with my time, and cutting out the wastefulness and things like that. And really focusing on the things that work and are profitable. Some ways that I've done this is I do a lot of batch working, which is fantastic. And I love the law. It's called Parkinson's law. And that law is that work expands to fill the time allowed. So if you have 5 hours to do something, I like to use my time when my kids are in school to do as much work as possible. I always set a pretty lofty goal for myself, and I try to get as much work done as possible because I have that limited amount of time in the day. And then of course I do more later and at night, but I really want to squeeze as much in as I can in that time. But if I have a week to fulfill these orders instead of a day, I'll probably take longer to do it. So your work expands to fill the time allowed. So if I allow less time, or if I time block, like I can only work on this for this time, I think I will get more done. I love the book Atomic Habits because it talks about getting 1% better every day, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but that adds up so much over time. So if I can just get 1% more efficient every day, 1% faster every day, or just do something, create a habit, or do something that just makes my process that much more efficient every day, I think by the end of the year, it's going to be really good. Those are the things I did that helped, and those are the things that I did that didn't help and that I want to work on. I hope this was helpful. I still can't believe that $120,000 on Etsy in 2020. That's crazy. I'm so excited for what 2021 will bring. Just hopefully I don't burn myself out because I love my job and I can be a workaholic. I'm trying to be more efficient so I can spend more time with my family. Anyway, if you have an Etsy shop or are wanting to start one in 2021, let me know in the comments. I hope this was inspiring for you. I hope that this kind of gets you going for 2021 and that you have some big goals for your shop too. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!